Wannabe gangsters, a beating, an execution, and a teen's family left reeling.
Now, the trial of one of the 5 defendants implicated in the death of 16-year-old David Grunwald began today with an emotional opening statement from the prosecution and a plea from the defense to the jury to look at all of the evidence.
Channel 2's Jill Burke has more.
With David Grunwald's parents looking on, Palmer prosecutor Roman Kalachek told jurors not only was 18-year-old Dominic Johnson involved in the death, but that he was instrumental, the mind behind the ambush and the beating that ultimately led to the teenager's killing. By all accounts, David Grunwald was a typical 16-year-old. He had a girlfriend, attended church, minded his curfews, loved to drive, and was generous with rides.
He didn't think there was anything to be afraid of.
Prosecutor Roman Kalachek told jurors David could not have known that a brief encounter with 5 young men would end his life.
As a close-knit group of wannabe gangbangers.
Self-described Crips with access to guns and an extreme lack of regard for David's life, with Dominic Johnson, then just 16 years old, a key figure.
And he was the one who came up with the idea to ambush and beat up David Grunwald.
Pistol whipped, bleeding, and losing consciousness, Grunwald was hurt so bad, instead of saving him, Johnson and the others, Kalachek said, chose to ensure his silence.
They decided as a group that they were going to eliminate David because he was 2 things. He was the victim of a severe beating, and he was also the witness to a severe beating.
His beloved Bronco was torched, and the trailer where he was beaten was bleached. Johnson, now 18, sat quietly at his attorney's side, staring forward, rarely turning to the onlookers in the courtroom or to the jury. His attorney, Lyle Stoller, said there's no question David was murdered, but cautioned jurors to use their minds more than their hearts.
This is an emotional case. You're going to hear emotional testimony. You're going to see photographs that you're going to have an emotional response to. But you still need to listen closely to all the evidence in this case and still listen to both sides.
What was the motive for the beating? Who fired the shot that ended Grunwald's life? Kalachek said it doesn't matter. It's still murder.
And it was a unanimous and intentional effort to ambush David.
And a 16-year-old who should have come home on a Sunday night 2 years ago never will.
They march him into the woods, and likely when he's pleading for his life, one of them took the Springfield 9mm, pointed it at David Grunwald's head, and put a 9mm bullet in his head, thereby causing David's death.
It was Johnson himself who eventually led investigators to Grunwald's body about 3 weeks after the teenager went missing. He now faces multiple charges, including murder, kidnapping, evidence tampering, and vehicle theft. In Palmer, I'm Jill Burke, Channel 2 News.